What's up? How are you guys? Good to have you on here as always. Today we've got a really wicked live because we're talking about literally my favourite topic, is the brain and how it affects your gains. So guys, I'm not your regular meathead. I don't just look about lifting fucking heavy weights and eating a lot of food. I mean, my biggest focus, my biggest passion is manipulating the brain and the nervous system and neurotransmitters in order to get better gains, not just for in the gym, but also outside the gym as well. I mean, if you have in the gym gains, yeah, that's all good and everything, but the way that you really, truly enhance your life is through optimizing your brain so that you can use, it to do really cool stuff outside of the gym. Okay, so we're going to be going hard on this today. Now, if you have any questions, ask away. So comment them up right now. Because I'm going to be responding to every single thing you ask me, because a lot of you guys are going to have questions around this, because nobody fucking talks about this, which is fucking retarded that nobody talks about this, because the brain is the single most important organ in your body. It's the single most essential, necessary, it's the most beneficial thing that you can have. A good brain enables you to do so much cool shit, alright? Who we got online? Big Blake Burgess, Rod, how are you mate? Alex D, how are you brother? I'll see you soon. Big Al, Kimberly, you better be coming along for a burger, mate. I expect to see you there in Melbourne. That's the other thing too, legends, is that big Paddy Roach, my right-hand man, Paddy, and I are going to be in Port Melbourne, all right, Saturday, midday, at Third Wave Cafe, all right? I'm going to post up the link for you all so you can see it. Let me do that right now. I'll post up the link so you can see it, so you can come and say hello, chat with us, talk about games. We're going to be there for literally 2 hours, alright? 2 hours. We're just going to be eating there, monging down burgers. I got 6,000 calories to get in, you know what I mean? I got a lot of food to eat, so it's going to take time. And Paddy's not a small lad either. He's not a small lad. He's going to be needing some a fair bit of food too. So we're going to be there sitting, waiting, chowing food, and we're going to be speaking with every single one of you too while we're at it. What's going to be really cool as well is that all my bikini girls and my figure girls are going to be off stage, which is going to be wicked, so I'm going to be bringing them down as well, so you can hopefully meet some of the crew. We've got some fucking schmick looking girls. I mean, Kira, who's a new addition to our team, has just come on board. She's competing in bikini, she's looking wicked. Then we've got Kel, who's going to be competing in bikini. Then we've got Georgia, who's also competing in bikini. Georgia is pro-worthy. She is easily one of the top bikini athletes in Australia right now. And shit, if she really wanted to, she could even, pop over into figure. Then we've also got the freak, Lisa Callanan. Lisa that's one of the most insane athletes that I've ever prepped. She is ridiculously lean, and you'll see me posting photos of her, so you'll see why. Who else we got on here? Oh, chesty. Big Bretty Morris, how are you, mate? Good to have you on board as always. Will Zimmerman. Will, mate, I want to see you down there. I want to see you there. Let's do this. Sambo Anchor, how are you, legend? Good to have you here. Rightio, let me just post this up. I'm going to share this in the Shriek community, and we're going to go from there. We are going to go from there. Okie doke. Guys, put up any questions you have about anything. Then we're going to kick on into all the brain sort of stuff. We've also got a shitload of questions from the Shred community too. So we're going to be going through all them as well and answering absolutely everything. Boom, posted there. Done. Posted up. Willie, we're going to talk about your prep as well. And here I'm going to put the link to this weekend. So if you guys want to come down and have a burger, pretty much click this link and it'll take you across the event and just say that you're going to be there. Rightio, posting up now. Bang! Posted. Epic. Also guys, if you are intending on coming, let us know so we can actually book it for you. Alright, Third Wave is only a small cafe, it's nothing huge, so we're going to need to let them know in advance that we're coming, alright? I'm going to be eating a shitload, you guys will be eating a shitload as well, so they're going to need time to prepare. They're going to need a little bit of notice, so just let me know so we can book out an area for you guys. Who else we got on here? We've got Big Marty Bradley. What's happening, my brother? Good to have you here. Rightio, no questions yet, so we're going to kick straight on in and get amongst it into how brain function affects you. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down, and we're going to cover how your brain and your training interact, how they affect each other. We're going to look at muscle gain, how the brain affects muscle gain. We're going to look at how the brain affects fat loss, and then we're going to look at how you can maintain your brain function after your workouts and why you feel like you're retarded. I will routinely go and do sessions and then stumble out and I'm hardly able to talk. You'll notice it when I'm live, when I've trained, alright? You'll see it when I've just trained and I come out here and I'm trying to talk and my eyes are all like fucked and I can hardly keep them open, I can hardly speak, and yeah, it's just because, excuse me, it's just because you're neurologically fried. So we're going to look at how we can maintain that so you can still push yourself to the absolute limit, but not too much, because there is an extent where it actually becomes counterproductive, okay? So first things first, let's get cracking. So how your brain and your training interact. Well, obviously, every single time you contract a muscle, you're utilizing your nervous system. Your brain controls this nervous system. See, we split it up really into, when we're talking about these sorts of things, there's three main nervous systems. The central nervous system, which is like your brain. There is the peripheral nervous system, and then you got your autonomic nervous system, like your fight or flight ones, which make you go or make you chill out. All right, that's how we're going to split it up today. With the central nervous system, what that does is that is involved with planning, teaching you how to move, getting you to move, doing the functions. So everything starts up here. When you go to bench, okay, it's not the nerves here which are actually planning that movement and how that movement's going to work. It starts in your brain in an area called the motor cortex. So everything begins there. So what you need to do first of all is you need to get that motor cortex on, you need to think about the movement, and then you can perform the movement. Now the really cool thing about this is we can actually hack this to optimize our movement. So one thing you'll see me doing all the time is perfecting the way that I'm pressing or moving. I'll be thinking about it, I'll be working on contracting all these muscles in order to optimally progress. So for example, before I do a bench, the very first thing that I do is I visualize the bench. So I visualize myself going through and actually performing the bench. So it's all in my head. That's the first thing that I run through, okay? The second thing is I set up on the bench, I lock my body into position, and then I'll bang out a few little reps without even touching the bar. So I'll get my shoulders into position, I'll depress my scapula, okay, get my lats on, retract them a little bit, serratus on, and then bang, I'll press like that. And that pretty much gets me used to moving the way which I should move. The next thing I do is I then lie down on the bench, get my hands onto there, and then go. Imagine repping it out. And as I'm moving every single rep, what happens is I'm actually thinking about that same movement every single time. Imagine pressing completely the whole time, thinking about it, visualizing, feeling, contracting. That's what happens. And what that does is that will exacerbate the way, or that will improve the way that you're actually utilizing the primary motor cortex. The other thing that, the motor cortex, not necessarily just the primary, that will improve the way you're using the motor cortex. The other thing too that you do is you also grip the bar really, really tight. If you grip the bar really, really tight, it actually activates more of the motor cortex and it fires up your nervous system even more. So you get better control and better activation of the target muscles which you want to do. Okay, so that's one way that the brain and the muscles the brain and the muscles actually interact. The other way is that the muscles, when they contract, they require neurotransmitters. So every single movement requires neurotransmitters. For those of you who are not familiar with neurotransmitters, number one, look them up. Number two, here's a little brief description of them. They are the brain chemicals or the nerve chemicals which actually cause everything to be done. Think of your nervous system as a whole lot of relays. The nerves are only very, very tiny things, okay? And they've got heaps of little junctions in between each and every single one of them. And it's like a little relay all the way through, and they just keep coming down, and it's these neurotransmitters which control how they work. And when you are lifting or doing anything like that, you're using a lot of these neurotransmitters in order to complete that action. And so you burn up a whole heap of them. So if you are burning through a shitload of neurotransmitters through your workout, you'll use them all in your muscles and none's left for your brain. And that's why you stop being able to think after a workout. So if you come out of a workout and you're wandering like a Spartan, you're half retarded, alright, there you go, you just burn up a whole heap of neurotransmitters. The other way that it works too is that as you work out, alright, when you start working out, you have a high level of dopamine. as you work out, it drops and serotonin increases. And so your muscles drive this burning, very loosely, your muscles drive this burning out of dopamine and then the increase of serotonin in order to shut you down and to slow you down and prevent yourself from overworking and causing injury. So that's how the muscles actually affect the brain. Now, as far as muscle gain goes, it's really cool. We're going to cover a few really, really interesting little things here. So if you have any questions, ask them away. I think we've got a couple right now. Fong's just asked me, can I help you? Mate, that's what I'm doing here right now, mate. Okay, so going on from there, going on from what we've just covered. In order to optimize muscle gain, you need to optimize the way the nervous system is working. There's one really key nerve called the vagus nerve, which we touch on with our highest level athletes. Okay, so we've got our regular guys and girls who want to lose fat, gain muscle. Then we've got our comp prep and advanced clients, and then above that we've got what we call like our elite or our upgraded men who I work on anti-aging protocols with. Right, they're at the pinnacle. With those guys, what we focus on is the vagus nerve, okay? The vagus nerve is a very long nerve which goes from your brain all the way through your spine. It comes out here at one end and then goes through your coccyx and your sacrum, comes out the other end. Not your coccyx, your sacrum at the other end, and comes out. And it innervates all of the organs. Now, another really cool thing that the vagus nerve does is it regulates inflammation. So those of you who know about lifting, you know that every single time you lift, you cause damage to the muscle fiber, okay? So you damage it slightly. When you damage the muscle fiber, you then create inflammation, okay? And the inflammation actually allows you to grow muscle. This vagus nerve regulates that. Not only does it regulate the inflammation for your muscles, but it also regulates the inflammation for your whole body. So if you have any damage throughout your body, it regulates how quickly it clears that up. So if you optimize the vagus nerve and how it's functioning, then you'll actually improve the rate at which you grow, or theoretically you'll improve the rate at which you go, and you will actually optimize your chances of growing muscle. It'll be another brick in the wall of building muscle. Okay, so that's one thing you need to do. How do you improve your vagus nerve function? Number one, the biggest way is to chill out, relax more. If you spend more time in rest and digest than fight or flight, you'll be way better off. Number two, optimize your use of GABAergic nootropics, okay? 5-HTP, GABA, phenibut, those sorts of things. Use more of them. It will help you recover so much better. The next one is magnesium. Pump your magnesium up and it'll be happy days for you, okay? Oh, what we got here? Matty Smith, how are you, big fella? Matty's just asked, I'm running 5-HT pre-workout, mate, as in my program, but this last week I've been training a lot harder, and like you said about being unable to think straight after workout, I've been getting that over the last few days after gym. Can I up my 5-HTP? Yes, you can, big fella. Up your 5-HTP, Matty. What we'll get you to do is up your 5-HTP, and we'll put a bit more GABA in there as well, okay? So shoot us across an email and we'll get that sorted for you, okie doke? When you're getting that unable to think straight after a workout, it is generally two things. Number one, a lack of dopamine. Number two, an inability to transport consumed adrenaline out of your brain. Okay, so it's really, really cool. So there's this little switch which brings stuff from out of your brain back into circulation throughout the rest of your nervous system, so it can all get recycled. And we use different supplements to improve on that. Recently I've started working with a bit of glutamine for that. Glutamine, glutamic acid, and GABA. Alright, they're really, really good ones. Benny Coombs just asked, hey man, peak week, do you believe in water and sodium depletion, or do you keep them the same as every other day? Mate, great question. The biggest, most accurate answer to that is, well, how does it actually look in the athlete? Well, sorry, how does the athlete look? Is the athlete already peaked? Are they already looking wicked? Do you need to fuck around with sodium and water? If the answer is no, then they're looking sweet, you don't need to change anything, then don't change anything. If the answer is yeah, this bloke's fucking needs a little bit of help to get the win, then yeah, 100%. Do a bit of a peak and deplete. What we do with our guys is we generally keep everything pretty similar. Okay, we get my guys drinking water all through the day, all through comp day, everything like that, and then we'll run some diuretics, some herbal diuretics, stuff like that. With my guys who are enhanced, we also run moduretics or Lasix or stuff like that, which we can use. Probably shouldn't say that online, but anyway. all those sorts of things. As far as sodium loading and water loading, well, fuck, my guys are sodium and water loading all the time anyway, so they're constantly loaded with that because they're drinking on average 7 to 10 litres of water a day, plus they're also having, a shitload of salt in every single meal. Coming into the column, we'll then drop out sodium depending on how they look and reintroduce it depending on how they look. You've got to remember, if you cut out water and sodium, you get flat. You're like really, really flat. So you need to strategically take them out and bring them back in. I've heard of guys who drop their water out early and then actually bring it back in later, and I've heard guys who do whole heaps of weird things, okay? There are many ways to do it, but the general thing is you need to look at what's in front of you and react. Are they flat? Okay, more water and more sodium. Are they too full or a bit sloppy? Less water, less sodium. But in the end of the day, you can fix flat, but you can't fix fat. So you need to just make sure you guys are in good nick. That's why my blokes and girls are always shredded as. Matty Lynette's just asked, are you training while in Melbourne? Fucking oath I'm training in Melbourne. I'm there with Big Paddy Roach. Of course we're going to be lifting some big stuff. Let us know when you're around. Chrissy Hicks, he said, hey mate, how much muscle can be gained in a month or a year? And coconut oil for extra calories any good? Alright, number one question. How much muscle can be gained in a month or a year? Good question. I have had one guy gain 1 kilo of muscle per week for 4 weeks, okay, over one training program before we started cutting him down. That is freakish. I've never seen that before, ever, and I've never seen it again, okay? So that is the biggest I've ever seen. The next one is I've seen people gain, on average, a good rate of muscle growth is roughly 400 grams of lean muscle per month. You can increase it, you can decrease it, all those sorts of things. It depends from person to person. I myself find it very, very hard to actually judge how much muscle exactly you put on. The reason being is because you're constantly recomposing. So right now, I am at like 94 kilos, and this is like the heaviest I've been in a long, long time. But my waist is tight. Like really, really, really tight. It's fucking tiny at the moment, as you can see in all my photos. My tape is like pretty massive. So I can't accurately say exactly how much muscle I put on. I put on a lot of weight. I put on a substantial amount of weight. I mean, I put on like 2 kilos over the last year. But if you look at me and how I look, how my proportions are, it's completely different over the last year. Alright, so my weight's only changed 2 kilos. That means what's fucking 2 kilos every year? It's like 200 grams a month, 100 and something grams a month. That's it. Not much. But the actual way I look shows that, well, no, shit, James, you're a heap leaner than what you were. Your proportions are different. Your waist is tighter. Your upper body's bigger. So it changes. So it's a very, very vague question, a very hard to answer question. But yeah, that's my best answer. Okay, dope. Who else have we got here? Oh, Chris has also asked, and coconut oil for extra calories, is it any good? Yeah, man, it's great for extra calories. One thing I'm focusing on at the moment, though, is for every extra calorie, we fucking jam carbs into our guys. We get more and more and more and more and more carbs in, okay? As soon as you have enough fat, and the ratio of carbs to fat is good enough for the digestive system to function and to feel great, we just fucking up their carbs all the time. I mean, shit, right now I'm sipping on dextrose, right? Like pure, that's 100 grams of dextrose right there, okay? City Gris said, how good is Arnie going to be? Bruh, Arnie's going to be great. I look forward to seeing you legends down there. Don't bring Dominic, he's a twat. Betty Coombe, anytime, mate, here to help. Peyton just said you're a legend. Keep up the great work, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Jamie, how are ya? Ravio's just said, how much carbs do we need? Is it okay to have rice every day? Ravio, good question, mate. We don't need any carbs at all. We never need carbs. The only time we want carbs is if we want to grow or we want to perform, okay? Is it okay to have rice every single day? Yeah, it's great to have rice every day if you like it. If you don't like rice, then don't eat rice. It doesn't matter. Rice, sweet potato, fucking anything, any sort of whole food. One thing I'm going back to right now is I'm going back to trying to improve like the amount of whole foods I'm having in my nutrition and locally sourced foods. I was talking with a biologist just recently and he was saying, man, it's fucking logical just to eat foods which are grown locally to you. Why is it better? Because they've got all the same gut microbes, they've got all the same bacteria on there for what you need. If you want to survive and thrive in your environment, which is fucking here, if I want to survive and thrive out in all this shit, I want to have the bacteria from in there inside my stomach and my intestines so that I function a whole heap better. So that's what I'm going to. Next one. Who else we got? Kyle Westerberg, good to have you here, legend. Big Danny, I hope you're well. Jamie, I'm at 77 kilos. Congrats. Jakey Randall, how are you, big legend? Jake Stowaway it is. Gareth just said, hey James, you're fit. How old are you? I'm 24, my man. I'm getting old. I remember when I was 18. I was a skinny little 18-year-old kid. I think, what was I? I was something like 72 kilos. I think in my first ever show, 72 or 74 kilos. I was like scrawny. I look back on that. So I'm now 20 kilos bigger than what I was 6 years ago. Kind of next level. Anyway, we've just covered muscle gain. We've just covered how your brain and your training interact. The next one we're going to go on to is fat loss. This is a super important one because, well, shit, every single person wants to be leaner. And what better way to improve your fat loss by hacking your nervous system, okay? So before, right at the start, for those of you who missed it, we covered the different nervous systems, okay? So you've got your peripheral nervous systems, you've got like your autonomic, your fight or flight. You've also got your enteric nervous system, which is your gut nervous system, and your central nervous system, your brain, okay? With fat loss, the most important nervous system for you is the parasympathetic nervous system. The rest and digest nervous system, the one which turns everything off. Why? Because it allows your gut to function better. If you improve gut function and you improve the way your digestive system is, how it's working, you improve your microbiome, you optimize that, you will get leaner. Why? Number one, you will stop being so inflamed and you will reduce the amount of cortisol throughout your body. From what I see, the number one cause of excessive cortisol in most people is a bad gut, okay? Too much stress and a bad gut. What causes stress? A bad gut, okay? You need to fix up the gut. So that's numero uno. That is the number one biggest thing. And if we can fix that, we can optimize that, then it's going to be happy days for you. The other thing that is really common is that people have got really dicky, not happy gut microbiomes. And when you have an unhappy gut microbiome, what happens is that you stop burning calories as effectively. You actually stop expending energy as well as what you should, and you also increase the amount of calories you take in from foods while reducing the micronutrients you get from foods. Alright, it kind of sucks when that happens. And so here you are all of a sudden with an upset gut microbiome, and you're eating less, but you're actually gaining more fat because the calories which are being absorbed are far greater than what they were before. See, the key mistake that a lot of people forget of, or the key mistake that a lot of people make, is that it's not about how many calories you eat. It's about how many calories you absorb. It doesn't matter what goes in your fucking gob. That doesn't mean anything. What does matter is what gets absorbed through your digestive system. So, if you want to improve your energy expenditure and you want to minimize your energy intake, you want to optimize that gut. So you've got the really good microbes in there. The really good ones. How do you do that? Number one, supplement with neurotransmitters. Get your gut moving. As soon as your digestive system gets stopped and it's halted and it's not moving, you're fucked, alright? Say goodbye to your fat loss because it's not going to happen. The easiest way to improve that is to supplement your neurotransmitters so you reduce your stress. You supplement your stress. Alright, taking all the dopaminergic or the serotonergic or the GABAergic neurotransmitters, and you will feel completely different. That is why literally every single person who starts training with my team and I feels better literally immediately. It's within fucking weeks. Alright, within a week normally. They're like, oh my god, my gut moves. It works. It's like grumbling and shit. It feels empty. You know, I can actually eat food now. You know, I can sleep. All that sort of stuff. That's because what we're using is pretty much hacking their nervous system to make it function a whole heap better. Okay? Number two, once again, activate that vagus nerve. Spend more time resting than stressing. If you can balance out your rest to stress ratio, you're going to fucking nail it. Okay? Number three is to optimize your nutrition, because in the end of the day, the biggest regulator of how we feel is what we put in our mouths. So if you optimize your nutrition by following a diet which is suited for you, you'll do really well. And it's the other reason why all our guys feel so amazing within such a short space of time. The next one's a really cool issue. Oh, hang on, I've got a couple of messages here. A big one from Jakey Randall. I'll hit this one before we go into it. Now, Jake said, this is going to sound like a troll at first, but hear me out, alright? Well, it's a positive start. I've seen you talk about having a dope sex life for gains. Why is that? I've also heard that orgasms increase dopamine and all that, so is it worth having a flog before gym? Or sneaking off to the toilets before a big set? Sorry if that sounds retarded, but I've wondered that, hang on, I've missed it, I've wondered that for a while. Bro, that's a fucking great question, okay? Really good question. Straight up, I would not recommend masturbating in the gym toilets. Number one, they're normally gross, and there's always some grub who pisses over the seat. Filthy, okay? Don't do it. Number two, it's not very socially acceptable. Would not recommend that at all. So yeah, no good. The next thing is that when you actually achieve orgasm, you get a drop in dopamine. So what happens is, as you're about to come, it's a bit gross, guys, for some of you, but it's actually something we should talk about more, so I'm going to talk about it anyway. As you're about to come and you're having a wank or you're going at it with your girl, okay, or your boy, your dopamine levels increase. They increase. And as you're just at the point of orgasm, they drop and shut out, and up comes like your oxytocin and your serotonin. That's what happens. That's why you then, when you spunk, okay, you will then feel relieved and you'll feel, relaxed, and pretty much your drive for sex then starts receding. You also then get I think you get a surge in prolactin as well as that happens, and then it helps with all the bonding feelings and all that sort of stuff, okay? So that's what happens. Doing that immediately before you train or before a set is actually going to hinder your gains, because it's going to drop your dopamine. Yes, you get an increase in dopamine up to the point of coming, but then after then, alright, once you've released your man goo, or your girl goo, actually girls is the same thing as well. Once you release your goo, whichever goo it is, alright, you're done, you got your dopamine, that's gone, okay? Now, on the flip side, if you're having sex regularly and it is not just immediately before gym, you will end up having high levels of dopamine. Having a wank will actually decrease your dopamine. It is not actually going to help improve your levels of dopamine at all. So you need sex, unfortunately. I know, it's terrible. So no sex over wanking any day of the week. And if you are going to have sex, don't have it pre-workout, have it post-workout or at another time around the day, okay? I recommend it for morning cardio. Sex is the best morning cardio that you can have. Number one, you got a fucking smile on your face all day. Okay, number two, you got more energy to go at it. Number three, well, morning wood is, it's there for a reason. And number four, well, shit, it's, keeps her happy, keeps you happy, or keeps him happy, whatever. Alright, so yeah, great question, man. Really, really good question. Alright, let's get on to the last bit. The maintenance of function after workouts. Okie doke. A lot of people suffer, like me, from after they've worked out, they feel fried. So they're fried all day, sometimes 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days more, okay? So it can take a while for them to get over this friedness. What is this friedness? You might have heard people talk about it when they say they're tired but wired. So they're really sleepy, they can't think, their brain's fucked, but they can't actually go to sleep, right? Oh, sorry, just got sneeze. Excuse me. Ugh. So they're tired but wired. They can't think, they can't function, they can't do all the stuff that they would normally do. So what is this? Well, number one is the depletion of dopamine, and number two is the depletion of GABA, alright? When you switch too far into fight or flight and you're training a bit too much for too long, for too often, you will then drop your GABA levels out and your sympathetic nervous system takes over. So not the rest and digest one, it's the sympathetic, the fight or flight, the one that keeps you go. It ups your adrenaline, ups your cortisol, and it actually decreases the amount of stuff that can come out of your brain, the amount of neurotransmitter that comes out of your brain. So what do we need to do here? We need to fix that up. There are several reasons I just said before why you will actually have reduced brain function. It's because you're too fried, okay, you fried your nervous system, so you fried your neurotransmitters, and because you switch yourself out of rest and digest. The other thing too is that you're lifting with too much volume, too much frequency, too much volume. There's just too much there. You need to improve your recovery. So how do you fix this, alright? Number one, periodize your training properly. If you are overdoing your training and you're under resting, then you're not going to have a good time. It's never going to be fun for you. Number 2, supplement smart. Okay, increase the supplements that you're using. A supplement like we do in our team. Use everything to boost your dopamine, your serotonin, your GABA, the whole lot. Number 3, eat more calories or optimize your calories. Okay, now if you're cutting, that's a hard one to do. But if you're bulking, you just fucking whack more calories in and you'll recover a lot better. Number 4 on top of that, it's a bonus one, sleep more. If you sleep more, you're going to feel a whole heap better. Alright? Now guys, on that note, I'm going to jump off because I'm cooked. And I've got to get up for an early flight tomorrow. But I'll speak to you all soon. We'll see you tomorrow night. I'm going to get Big Paddy Roach on, which I'm fucking excited about because I'm really keen for you guys to meet him. And yeah, if you have any questions, put them up in the Shrek community. Now, if you haven't already, check out the link because we're going to go do burgers on Saturday over in Melbourne. So come on round, click on the link out there. It's the link to an invite to an event on Facebook, and it tells you all the details about where we're going to have burgers in Melbourne, who we're catching up with, the whole lot. Rightio? I'll see you there.